Hello, my friends. Welcome to a special edition at a different time of the Impact Money Show. We have a special show today. There is a lot going on. Good afternoon, evening, morning. How many places that are watching in the morning, but wherever you are, welcome to our broadcast here in Washington, D.C. The weather has taken a curious turn with Christmas crispness that teases the onset of spring, yet reminds us of the unpredictable nature of our political and economic climates. But let's not get lost in the weather. We have a veritable storm of news to navigate tonight, from the corridors of power to the cutting edges of technology, from the turmoil of international diplomacy to the intricacies of personal privacy. We are covering it all. First off, let's talk about our upcoming adventure. We're thrilled to announce our journey to Florida for the Global Family Office Investment Summit, February 18th and 19th. This event is not just about investment strategies, but about understanding the future of wealth management in an era where every decision can ripple through global markets. After the summit, we're hosting the official Washington Elite After Party, where we'll celebrate the convergence of influence and innovation with networking opportunities that could shape the future of policy and finance. Following that, on the 20th, we'll dive into the Lives Amplified event with my main man, Stephen Melnick, celebrating the diversity of inclusion in business, a theme that's more crucial now than ever. And then back in DC, we'll engage with the APAC Policy Conference on the 21st and the 22nd, exploring the multifaceted relationship between the U.S., which is now more complex than ever. I'm sorry, not APAC, CPAC, not APAC, CPAC. I got my packs there a little mixed up. Sorry about that. CPAC. Big difference. As a matter of fact. Very, very big difference. Now we delve into tonight's headlines. We start the story that's been making waves. Elon Musk, I've seen a couple of stories come out and then even be pulled back or retracted. Elon Musk's involvement with the U.S. Treasury through the Department of Government Efficiency, better known as the Doge or the Doggy, right? The Doggy. Musk's access to the Treasury payment system, handling trillions in federal disbursements from Social Security to Medicare, was initially pitched as read-only. However, the revelations or even speculation of read-write capabilities have ignited a political firestorm. This isn't just about efficiency. It's about control, privacy, and the very integrity of the governmental functions. And let's face it, the banking cartel doesn't want them in there, folks. They don't want them in there. They don't want them in there. Get them out of there. Get them out of there now. Don't mess up our deal. Don't mess up our deal, they're saying. Don't get him out of there. This isn't just about efficiency. Also, Senator Warren, Elizabeth Warren, that's Pocahontas, among others, has voiced alarm over the potential of misuse. Questioning Musk's access could lead to a scenario where federal payments are manipulated for political or business gains. There's concern over data security, with personal information of millions potentially at risk. The Department of Justice's temporary order to limit access is just the tip of the iceberg. We're looking at a potential legal battle that could redefine public-private partnerships in government operations. The Treasury insists on the integrity of their system, yet the debate rages on, reflecting the deep anxieties about the private sector influence over the public sector. Of course, it's all really a bunch of baloney. They have been paying out all types of fraudulent payments. They've just been paying everything that comes across the desk they approve. They just approve everything. Doesn't matter if it's for crooks or hooks or whatever. Yeah, it's approved. Everything gets approved. Everything goes out. It's really unbelievable what's been going on there. And we are going to Elon has been putting an end to it. That brings us to my main man, Representative Thomas Massie's assertion that Doggy is on a collision course with the Uniparty. Massie, with his libertarian ethos, sees Doggy as a direct challenge to the bipartisan consensus that favors an expansive government. His critique isn't just about fiscal policy, it's about the fundamental question of government's role in our lives. If Doggy moves forward with its agenda, we might witness legislative battles as Congress grapples with protecting its interest or embracing reform. This could influence elections, with candidates needing to decide where they stand on government efficiency versus traditional power structures. It really is something else, guys. I mean, like, holy smokes. I have never seen anything like it. Nobody has. It's really, really something else. And, you know, Thomas Massie coming out in a comment, Diamond Swap. This is a wild ride ahead. Buckle up for some serious growth opportunities. You're absolutely right, man. We are in the wild ride. This is the wild ride of the Wild West. It's the Wild West all over here again, and we are shutting things down. I'm just sharing this here. Boom. My man Thomas Massie. Sometimes I'm a one-man show here. Folks. Boom. At 6 minutes. Okay, moving on here. Boom. In the financial markets, I need to update those prices because they're dropping faster than anybody can keep up with them. And in the financial markets, we have just gone up and down and all around, haven't we? I guess I'll update those numbers in a minute. We've seen a day of significant volatility. The Dow Jones dropped 1%, possibly reflecting on a cocktail of factors from economic indicators to geopolitical tensions. Gold is up by just 0.25%, indicates a cautious approach to safety investments, while silver down 1.28% underscores the market's dichotomy between investment and industrial use. Asian markets presented a mixed picture. Japan's Nikkei took a significant hit due to U.S. tariffs news, while other markets like the South Korean and the Australia just felt the ripple of the effects on the global trade concerns. The U.S. dollar, however, saw a 0.4% increase today, perhaps buoyed by the recent U.S. jobs data or as a sign of confidence in the banking cartel's handling of inflation and rates. That's the Federal Reserve. President Trump's policies continue to stir the pot, both at home and abroad. His executive order banning transgenders from sports has reignited debates on civil rights and government overreach. Shouldn't be a debate on that, guys. I'm going to go out here on an official record. There should not be a debate. I have daughters. Boys want to be funny, and with other boys, that's fine, but not with my daughters, okay? And that should be, that's women's rights, okay? Don't let anybody tell you any different. The sanctions on the International Criminal Court have strained international relations, particularly with nations that are supportive of the International Criminal Court, as well as, it seems like, yeah. But it's his proposal regarding Gaza that's perhaps the most controversial, suggesting a U.S. takeover and relocation of the Palestinians and ethnic cleansing, in fact, of the entire area. It really is fairly remarkable. Which has not only been condemned internationally, but also has sparked domestic and political movements, with figures like Al Green discussing impeachment. Trump's influence on Doggy and his tariff policies affect not just domestic markets, but global trade, creating a landscape where every decision has far-reaching consequences. Really funny today. I saw it actually, if I can pull it up real quick, it is worth pulling it up because it is pretty funny. I guess they put Elon Musk on the front of Time magazine, and they asked President Trump about it, and he says, "Oh, Time magazine, are they still around? This is worth. If I can pull it up quickly, it's worth showing." Trump. If I can get it quickly. If not, I'll play it some other time. It was really funny. His interviewer asked what he thought about it or something. He says, "Oh, is Time magazine? Are they still in business? Are they still in business?" Anyway, it's not coming up real quick. I'm going to move on. Over in Russia, President Putin's actions continue to be a focal point of global analysis. His military focus on eastern Ukraine, amidst reports of substantial casualties, highlights the ongoing conflict's cost. The sacking of Yuri Morozov from Roscosmos amidst space program setbacks points to an internal policy shift or perhaps admissions of the strategic failures. On an international stage, Putin's relationship with Trump, with both leaders' rhetoric oscillating between praise and critique, adds a layer of global diplomacy. Putin's comments on Europe and U.S. policy under Trump suggest a chess game where every move has implications on energy, security, and global alliance. I mean, the Titans, right? We got the Titans playing chess with each other. In the realm of AI, we're witnessing a technological renaissance. OpenAI's deep research tool for ChatGPT, Alibaba's Qwen 2.5 Max, and Apple's push towards AI integration through Apple Intelligence are heralding an era where AI could redefine productivity. However, this progress isn't without its technical and practical challenges. Issues like AI's environmental impact, particularly water usage in data centers, privacy concerns, and potential for AI to generate misinformation or come alive in itself, are now at the forefront of the public discourse. Apple's recent stumble with AI-generated news summaries served as a cautionary tale of the balance between innovation and accuracy. I'm going to play an interview at the end of the show with the gentleman, and it really is interesting. We're talking about AGI and the effects and how this is going to roll out with everybody. I mean, people just have no idea. They really have no idea. Robotics is another field of rapid evolution. From China's showcasing of robots in sports and entertainment to the UK's deployment of firefighting robots, we're seeing technology step into roles previously unimaginable. Yet the ethical implications of our interactions with robots, as seen in the case of robot abuse in public viewings, raises questions about the societal values in the treatment of AI entities. Amazon's commitments to robotics for linguistics promises to save billions, while startups like RoboForce are pioneering AI in manual labor, potentially redefining the work across industries. I tell you this, guys, one day in the near future, they're going to stand up and they're going to look back and talk back to us. It's not far off. It's probably already happening. And what is life is going to be completely redefined. And we're going to have a big integration. In the cryptocurrency markets, Bitcoin journey today from 98,000 back to below 96,000, where it's trading right now, might be a symptom of a broader economic anxieties or a direct response to policy shift by figures like Trump and Musk. Their actions, particularly those, and I've talked about it quite a bit, impacting government spending or economic policy, could indeed signal a beginning of a liquidity crunch, influencing investor behavior towards or away from speculative assets like cryptocurrencies. This is something I have talked about quite a bit, guys, because listen, and we still, I'm saying we still might go up, get the all-time high here, okay? But if we are normally putting out $6 trillion, if the U.S. Treasury is normally putting out $6 trillion, and now they're only going to put out $4 trillion, which is $2 trillion less a year, we are going to have a global liquidity crunch. it is what it is, what it is. Like, it just is what it is. People are, already people who are maybe getting laid off, maybe they're not going to do normal buy of stocks or gold or crypto or whatever. So I'm still bullish at the moment, but I with a big caution, because we could see a severe retracement. And the markets don't look very liquid to me. They don't. When you have big moves like that up and down and everything, that's the liquidity's not there. The liquidity's not there. We'll have the report from the great Matt Dixon on here shortly. I'm sure he'll talk more about it. Lastly, we touch on a personal becoming political with MAGA activist Scott Presler. A leaked photo has him thrust into controversy that tests the boundaries of privacy and the integration of personal identity and who we are as a people in the political sphere. The situation has sparked a necessary dialogue within the conservative circles on what truly matters in the pursuit of political goals. It's a matter that might either broaden the movement's appeal or highlight its internal controversy. On a personal note, every time over the last 8, 10 years, or however long it's been, I have reached out to Scott Presler. He has called me, texted me, talked to me. The guy has the right things in mind. Quite possibly, it's totally possible that Trump would not have won Pennsylvania, which would mean he wouldn't have won, well, I don't know. It was kind of a landslide. But I mean, they were talking about Scott Presler is a force of nature. The guy is a force of nature. And whereas I may not do that stuff, I think judging him, and I saw some, responses, we should, shun him from this or that because he likes different things than you do is absolutely unacceptable behavior. It's unacceptable behavior. And I commented under his post. He said, "I'm just going to get my head down and get to work, keep working." And that's the right answer, brother. It is what it is. And I think it's unfortunate. And the people who are, calling for this and that and the other, they should just go shut up and look in the mirror. They should go shut up and look in the mirror. That's what I think. Okay. Focus on yourself, guys. There's enough there. This week has been a testament to the dynamic and often tumultuous nature of our world, from economic markets to political landscapes, from technological advancements to personal controversies. We're living in times that demand that we stay informed, engaged, and critically thoughtful. Stay tuned as we continue to navigate this ever-evolving narrative. I have queued up here the Market Watch report from the great Matt Dixon. Let me share my screen here. Matt Dixon, the great Matt Dixon. Boom, here we go.
Good morning, Bruce, and good morning, Impact Money viewers. So there's not an awful lot changed since yesterday. We had a good look through the markets over the longer term. And when you look at the longer term picture, obviously it's not going to change so much on a day-to-day basis. So we will just review that today briefly, but in the context of what's happening with the wider economy. So we've got non-farm payrolls out today. There's expected to be a sharp drop in NFPs. That would tell us that potentially the US economy is beginning to slow. And we've actually seen this with the SARM rule, seeing that unemployment is the first sign of potentially recession on its way. So let's just see how those figures come out. We would probably not want them to be too strong because that would negate any chance of future interest rate cuts. But if we do see a little bit of weakness, it might actually help risk assets. But if we see too much weakness, it would tell us that potentially recession is on its way, and that might be quite negative for risk assets. And that's reflected very clearly here in the Bitcoin chart. So again, I'm looking long term. This is on the weekly chart. And as we saw yesterday, it hasn't changed. We actually saw what's called a doji. It's basically a spinning top candlestick. And when you have this with a big wick above, a big wick below, and the price is actually stuck right in the middle, it's actually undecided. It's tested higher and it's failed. It's tested lower and it's failed. And now currently price is right in the middle, undecided, and it's waiting for some stimulus, some impetus to drive it one way or the other. So if we finish the week on this doji candle as it is, then that would still remain undecided. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And as I said yesterday, we're actually in the midst of this consolidation range where potentially we've had a wave 3 higher already and had either an ABC lower complete already, wave 4, or it could actually continue and be drawn out some more. It's hard to say. We're in the middle of a consolidation. So as I said yesterday, I would be generally keeping my powder dry, just waiting for some direction, because you don't want to take a trade right in the middle of a consolidation range where the risk of upside and downside is 50-50. So it doesn't make sense from risk reward perspective that the risk of upside is the same as the risk of downside. So you're just going to suffer charges. And as I say, out of 1,000 trades on average, you would lose money with this kind of setup. So that's why I will be keeping my powder dry. But looking longer term, we are approaching the end of this cycle. So this is from the FTX low that we had at 15,500-ish on Bitcoin. We've had a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We may have potentially completed the 5 already. It's possible. So the wave 4 could actually have been here where I've got labeled wave A, and we could have had a small wave 5. I think it's unlikely. And I think that actually we've got 1, 2, 3, and I think this was wave 4, or we may even have a touch lower to go to complete wave 4. Then I do think that it's highly likely we're going to push to new all-time highs to give us a clear and clean wave 5 before we then push to the downside. So once we've completed 5 waves, impulse to the upside, we would expect there to be an ABC correction, quite a substantial correction to the downside. So that's what I said yesterday. I'm beginning to be cautious with this market. Right now we're mid-range, so I wouldn't trade. I keep my powder dry. You don't have to catch the top of the market. You can just be very, very patient. The number one rule is try to preserve capital. And so you don't need to have a trade in all the time. And it's pretty much the same story with Ethereum. I'll just flip over to Ethereum here. And again, round about the FTX time, we had a low, I think, just before the real FTX crisis of 872 for Ethereum. That was the bottom of an ABC. We had a C wave down there. And then the cycle began, this cycle here, where we've got basically a 1, 2, 3. The wave 4 here actually is quite a nice wave 4, potentially. It hasn't gone into territory of wave 1. So potentially we do have a wave 4 complete. It could have been complete here, or it could be complete down here. So potentially, again, looks like we have a bit of a push up potentially on the cards for Ethereum. So this looks like a reasonably positive candlestick. And if it were to finish, especially if it finished with a green body, and this is weekly, so I've not got much time, but if we were to get a push up today, maybe NFPs come out favorable for the market and we get a push up, finish with a green body, this would be extremely bullish. At that time, if that happens, I would be considering some dollar cost averaging, jumping in potentially for a decent push to the upside and take us to a nice wave 5 on Ethereum. And that would obviously be correlated, I suspect, with Bitcoin and the wider market. So there is certainly potential, I would say, not certainty. There's real potential for short-term upside in the market. But I do think whichever asset you're looking at, we are looking at a wave 5 top sometime. And I said yesterday, I think it could be March, April time that we get a top in the market and then a potentially quite a deep pullback. But shorter term, I think there's real potential. And I just want to see a signal to give me confidence to jump in the market. Right now, even with Ethereum, we're pretty much middle of this consolidation here. So right now, I'm not really minded to take a position right now. But as I say, the balance could be tipped if I see a green body on this candlestick. We might then expect the new candlestick to start lower. And that's when our dollar cost average looking for a higher price. But I need to see some sort of indication. We don't appear to have anything in terms of divergence, certainly not on the weekly candle. And I can't really see any clear signals. The last main signal we had, by the way, was actually this one, which was the higher highs on price and lower highs on RSI, that was warning of a reversal in price. And it's precisely what happened when we just got above that 4,000 level. Here is about 4,000 almost exactly. And we got this regular bearish divergence telling us there was going to be some downside. And that's precisely what happened. So if you'd followed that signal, you'd have done really, really well. You could be closing the trade right now or protecting it or whichever way you want, but taking profit one way or another. As I say, I don't see any particular divergent signals at the moment. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I can see. I can't. There's no divergent signal on the weekly. So this was the last signal we had, was the sell here, which, as I say, you can be closing that trade if you had it now. Looking over to Litecoin. Litecoin, if you look at it long term, just think about this in terms of a consolidation that basically it's not really gone anywhere. There's lots of overlapping movement. Even this movement down certainly overlapped this movement up, and this movement here. It's very overlapping. It's very sideways. It's very kind of effectively kind of bear flag type.
Oh, hold on a second here. Here we go. Let me just
Structure. So these things can continue, and it could push higher yet again and could continue with this bear flag formation. But overall, this looks corrective to the upside, and we can see it is slightly upside. So it looks corrective up. So I'm not very positive on Litecoin long term. But again, short term, I'm just focusing on this candle that I've got within the circle here. The candlestick here, currently, it's beginning to move towards looking like a bullish candlestick, especially if we got a nice little push up, maybe with some favorable NFPs today, like Ethereum. If we had favorable NFPs, we could get a push up, and it could give us a green body to this candle. That would.
Hold on here. Sorry about that, guys.
Like Ethereum, if we had favorable NFPs, we could get a push up, and it could give us a green body to this candle. That would be really nicely bullish. And it's at that point I would start thinking about we're probably definitely probably going to be pushing to the upside, and I would be interested in dollar cost averaging around these levels. But that's if this candlestick gives me a positive feeling about where we're going to be going. But right now it's still in no man's land, right in the middle of consolidation. Right now I wouldn't take a trade. So as we're always saying, look for as many of the jigsaw pieces to fit together as possible. So candlestick's one, and if we see a positive candlestick, that would be great. That would probably be off the back of favorable non-farm payrolls. That's fundamental news. This is technical. And overall, we're still in an upward consolidation. So potentially we could see some more upside here. So there's a few things which are telling me maybe we get some more upside. Just moving on to Solana. I think I'll move down shorter term here because we can see the FTX low. We can see how we moved up from the FTX low. I'll go back to daily, I think. Potentially that could be a wave 3. We could have a wave 4, and wave 4 down often goes into territory of the previous wave 4 of lesser degree. So even with Solana, I think that we're close. We may have already turned. This may have been the low point here. This could have actually been the larger wave 4 here, and then we could push straight up, or we could have one more little push down, still within the territory of this wave 4 of lesser degree. So it's a little bit uncertain at the moment, but I still think we're likely to push to new all-time highs for Solana in the short term. But again, it will be a final 5th wave to the upside, which would tell me that after that we're going to see a really substantial correction. And as I say, that's most probably, we might be looking around April time for that, end of March, April for that. So I'm still reasonably bullish on most of the market short term. Just taking a little peek at oil. I put some indications in. I think was I on the weekly? Let's just see. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, weekly is showing it quite nicely. So we had basically an A down, a B up, and looking at potentially a C wave down. So what I wanted to really show here was in this potential C wave, we can see that oil has been looking negative. So we are seeing lower lows and lower highs. So these asterisks are just showing that here we had a lower low, here we had another lower low, here we had a lower high from here and another lower high. So potentially we're targeting another lower low. Don't know precisely where it is. Let's just draw. We don't know for sure whether it would follow this trend here, but assuming it very often does, we could be looking at, the low 60s potentially for oil. Right now we're on 70, just over $70. So potentially quite a bit more downside. It could, of course, dip even further. But right now it's telling us that there is an oversupply of oil compared to the demand for oil. So the demand for oil is probably diminishing because economies are certainly showing signs of slowing. And we saw that yesterday with the UK economy. It's slowing. They reduced interest rates to try to stimulate the economy. We've seen that in many places. The only odd one out appears to be Japan. And as I said, Japan actually had strong household spending figures out. And, it's quite possible they're going to continue the rate rises because inflation is an issue with Japan. So that could potentially be, in fact, I think we'll jump over to, we'll have a look at that Japanese yen in a minute. But so potentially oil's going to go lower. That would tell me that economies are potentially going to continue to slow. So maybe we do get weak non-farm payrolls. The US economy is starting to roll over. And as I say, my base case is that we're going to enter a recession sometime in 2025 for the whole world, really. They say if the US sneezes, the world catches a cold. So let's see what happens there. But that's what signs are telling us at the moment. I'm just looking for where I've got, there it is, Japanese yen. So Japanese yen, again, we can see we have turned down quite substantially. We seem to have had an impulsive move to the downside here. It actually looks, it's hard to say what the move up here is, but we are moving down quite substantially. And that's telling us, again, they do have inflation problems in Japan, and that's why they've been raising interest rates, and that's why we're seeing stronger yen. So here we have, this is the dollar against the yen. So when the yen strengthens, this chart falls down lower. Now, at some point, if the yen becomes an expensive debt to service, is if interest rates are rising in Japan, and don't forget the rest of the world, they're dropping, even the US. The last move they had was a reduction. They've been on hold a couple of times now, but there's certainly potential in the US and the rest of the world. But Japan is actually increasing rates, so there's potential for more strengthening of the yen. Now, as that happens, it makes the carry trade really unattractive because the interest rate that you borrowed at in Japan is actually increasing and increasing, and so the people start to have to pay back their yen borrowings. That means they have to pull money out of risk assets like the S&P 500, Bitcoin, etc., etc. They have to pull money out of those risk assets to pay off their yen borrowings, and that would actually be a sort of spiral effect where it would strengthen the yen further, and you see more yen strength. So potentially, we are seeing the beginnings of an unwind of the carry trade. As I say, if we were to see a major downturn out of risk assets, maybe around April time, that would really cause a lot of yen strength, and we'd see yen here massively strengthen with dollar yen falling very, very sharply. So these are just signs that are beginning to show through at the moment. We're not really seeing it manifesting too much, although we have seen, of course, a bit of a downturn. I mean, Bitcoin was 109,000 and now it's 97,000. Solana was 295,000. It's now 193,000, and the list goes on. So we have seen quite a bit of a fall in those risk assets. Dollar index is potentially, we may have seen a top in the dollar here. We've got an A, just show it there, a B, and a potential top there for C. So potentially we're going to see weakness ahead for the US dollar, and that would be definitely the case if we see the US economy rolling over. So again, quite a lot depends on non-farm payrolls. At the moment, this is quite a bearish candlestick. Let's just see how it finishes out the week. This is a long-term weekly chart. So with it potentially being an A, a B, and a C, we would potentially expect now an impulse to the downside to take us much lower on the US dollar. And again, that is really pretty much a base case scenario for the US dollar. We'll just touch very briefly, I think, on Trump coin. That's on the weekly chart. We can see extremely negative chart there with lower lows and lower, but just basically lower lows. Continues to drop. There's nothing to support it. It's just a meme coin. So I'm not very excited. I don't invest in memes that have no utility whatsoever behind them and no real hope of utility either. So that's one I'd avoid. There are some memes, for example, we've got Booker memes here, which has also had a lot of negativity because the markets, altcoins and so on, have been doing really badly of late, and everyone's waiting for this altcoin season. And they always talk about cycles and we're waiting for altcoin season. Things don't have to repeat themselves. Markets don't have to repeat. Actually, the fundamentals behind this market are very different from what they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. They're different. Why do you expect the same to happen? It's crazy. I don't know why people just are saying things have got to happen the way they happened before. We haven't even had enough time for Bitcoin started in 2009 to have any proper repeating cycles. The only thing we do have is halving events, but those halving events are known well in advance. So people, in my opinion, are not being logical. They're trying to impose cycles where there's not enough evidence to form a cycle in these things. So I'm not at all confident in cyclical analysis. And I've looked into Hearst analysis, which is one of the most effective cycle analysis tools there is. And again, I don't see any real evidence. And as you know, I've put these halving events against the S&P chart, and you can draw exactly the same conclusions as if you put those halving events on a Bitcoin chart. That tells me that halving is not a factor. It's actually already priced in. The only factor is Bitcoin has actually been a rising speculative asset. It's actually got on some safe haven characteristics and some store of value characteristics. And we've seen institutions and even government interests. And that's why Bitcoin has risen. I don't think it's necessarily related to halving. We do know that the reason Bitcoin is of interest is because it has this limited supply, 21 million total ever in existence. And that the new supply is diminishing every time we get a halving event. But that's already known. So it's no news to anybody. And that's why people are investing and treating it as a potential store of value. But long term, we looked yesterday, I think we'll probably finish with the long-term Bitcoin chart again. Let's just go monthly on it. Long-term Bitcoin chart that we showed yesterday, this is where we'll finish. That potentially right from the beginning, and as I say, we can see that you need to look at a logarithmic chart if you want to get any sense out of the early price history. But for all intents and purposes, the price was pretty negligible. I'm not trying to chart it in the early days here. Basically, we had a wave 1 up, 2 down, 3 up, 4 down, 5 up. Potentially, this is a large leading diagonal. Potentially, it's the only leading impulsive wave where wave 4 can overlap wave 1, which it has done here. So potentially it's a large leading diagonal with potential that we may have one more little push higher before then a potentially sharp push to the downside, at least in ABC fashion for a very, very deep potential correction. So long term, even Bitcoin, whilst it does have this amazing supply characteristic, limited supply characteristic, it's still, at the end of the day, it's still just a risk asset, and it depends on the wider economy, geopolitical situations, and all those other jigsaw pieces that we're always looking at. So hope that's helped you a little bit. As I say, just to summarize, I think short term, there's real potential for higher. There's real potential for an all-time high in Bitcoin, but probably because we're in the middle of the range right now, I'd keep my powder dry until we get some clarity, perhaps non-farm payrolls today. So let's keep an eye on those figures, see what comes out. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, and look forward to next week. Bye for now.
All right, well, there you have it. The great Matt Dixon. Obviously, he recorded that early in the morning. It's been since the plane crash and the helicopter plane crash here in Washington, D.C., it has been a challenging time for my family. Of course, there were a lot of figure skaters. We're ice skaters, and there was a lot of our friends and colleagues that tragically passed away during that time. The funerals have now started, and it's not an easy time. So he sent in the video, and I took the option and decided I would do the show a little bit later today, and take my sleep. So the numbers that came out that he was talking about that would come out today did come out, and it has had a negative effect on the market. So that is, we'll see. That as I keep talking about, the liquidity crunch is really what scares me about the markets. Long term, we're going to be good, and we could pop up really really hard and go to all new time highs and then pull back. Now, if you guys are interested in doing some types of trading on this 2bit right here, 2bit.com, use the affiliate link Impact Money, all one word, or just hit that QR code and it'll automatically fill in for you. But on 2bit, you can use the financial instrument to set a short. So if you feel like the market's going to go down, you set a short sell there and you profit on the way down. And that is how we profit on the way up and on the way down. Currently, right now, Bitcoin at 95,754. Some of the other ones I've been playing with, Algorand and these ones down considerably, 26 cents on Algorand. Litecoin is at 101.09. Litecoin popped down to $80 the other day. That was really something else. I did catch some of that. That was a lot of fun. Now I have with me here now. This is I'm doing a set of interviews. Actually, I talk about it here in the video. So why don't I just add this right here and have it take it away? Bam. So I'm about to come on here. I do my little minute. Here we go. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to start. We have one of the first in a series of special interviews that we will bring leading up to the Global Family Office Investment Summit, the 24th edition, down in Sunny Isles in Miami, February 18th and 19th. We'll be there on location. We're super excited about it. And the caliber of people that my good friend Anthony Ritosa brings to these events is really bar none. And so when he accepted my offer to do the interviews and create a buzz about the event and give something of value like that to the sponsors and to the conference, and he accepted, I was very happy about it here. Kicking us off, we have a very special guest. His name is Alan Smithson. He is a father, founder, futurist, author, and a DJ. Alan, it's a pleasure to have you on. How are you?
I'm so magical today. I'm so grateful to be on the show with you. And when Anthony invited me to the this upcoming event in Miami, this will be my 5th event with Anthony and Ritosa at the different events. Yeah. Most of them have been in the Middle East, in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, and also there was one in Monaco which I didn't go to, but this is the first time it's going to be stateside. And yet, if it's anything like the other ones, this is going to be an event to remember.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He always does really such an amazing job. Like you, I have done a number of events with him, and it's the caliber of people that he's able to bring together. It's a little bit of magic. I told him, I actually wrote an endorsement for him on LinkedIn, and I said, I said a number of things, but your attention to detail, your attention to people, and the resilience, it keeps me coming around, and I'm happy to do it. So, Alan, you are an electric guy. I mean, just looking over your websites, looking over the stuff that you have, that you're doing. I mean, it is so exciting. Tell me a little bit about what you're most proud of at the moment.
Well, always my family first. I have 2 beautiful daughters, Abby and Holly, and they're going through school, and that's what I'm most proud of always. And then my wife, Julie, and I have been working together for 25 years. We've been building technology companies for the last 15. We invented touchscreen technology for the music industry back in 2010 before the iPad came out. And since then, we've built hundreds of projects in virtual augmented mixed reality. And then now we're working in AI. But we really are focused on building a new education system for a post-AGI world. And AGI meaning artificial general intelligence. AI kind of smacked us in the face. We predicted these things would happen, but none of us thought that this would happen within the next maybe 10 years. 50 was always that, in 10 years, we'll have AI that can answer all of our questions, or in 10 years, we'll have robots that can do these things, but it's now. And so what we're doing is we're building a new education system that does 2 things. One, it allows students to learn the success principles: mindfulness, gratitude, perseverance, creative problem solving, economic responsibility, teamwork and mentorship, gratitude, goal setting, ethics, empathy, entrepreneurship, futurism. But also it takes investments in student startups. And then the flip side of that is, as students learn, they earn money. And a percentage of that money that they earn, they have to invest back in other student startups. So you have this kind of flywheel effect where students invest in other student startups, they help each other, but then the money made from us as a company investing in these student startups is actually waterfalled back down to the students, because 75% of Unlimited Awesome, which is the education platform, will be owned by the students. And so it's like a company like nothing else, where it's almost like a cooperative where the employees own the company, but in this case it will use network effects to be a globally relevant organization that makes investments, kind of like Y Combinator, but for the world's ideas.
Well, that is absolutely amazing. So just to give you a little bit of a touch, this education is so important. My family, actually, my parents homeschooled me up until I went to prep school. So I was homeschooled. We were one of the first homeschoolers in North Carolina. They even took us to court, if you can believe it or not.
I can believe it.
Yeah.
Now they're trying to push it.
Yeah, this is a long time ago, of course, but they of course kind of got laughed out of the courtroom, and my parents were both educated and everything else, and I don't know what they were expecting, but anyway, the point is that, and then you also mentioned this AGI, and I don't think that people really understand where AI is and where we're going with this, and so talk to me a little bit about that.
Let me bookend this with just a quick couple of stats, because I think people don't understand the true ramifications of this technology. So AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, by the definition of OpenAI, is an intelligence system that is better than most humans at most work. Better than most humans at most work. So yes. If we have algorithms that are better than us at almost everything, okay, that's one thing. PwC just released a study that said AI is going to create 78 million new jobs. Incredible. This is amazing, right? However, last year, McKinsey came out with a study that said AI, robotics, and automation are going to eliminate 400 to 800 million jobs. So we're going to need a new social contract and social construct. Capitalism has served us very well, but we were going to need to figure out ways to figure out how to keep people prosperous and enjoying the comforts that are afforded by capitalism and by developments and innovation. But at the same time, maybe those jobs will be different. Maybe we need to pay teachers way more and healthcare workers way more, and mid-level bankers and management consultants less. Because that can be done by AI. Once you run 1 million management consulting, proposals through, AI can just deliver that.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I hesitate to tell everybody, but at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. There are, few emails that I send where I don't run it through AI. I mean, like, why wouldn't I?
Have you seen OpenAI's new operator? It came out last week. You pay $200 a month for it, so it's expensive.
Okay. Yeah,
relative to other AI products.
Sure.
But
yeah.
It will literally, you can go on and you can dictate it. Say, I want you to send 500 emails to this list. I want you to write an email based on this. This is an investment list. I want you to outreach. It will go in, open your Gmail, and start sending emails on your behalf. You don't even have to do that work anymore.
I mean, it's yeah. Well, that's the thing, and I'm so much better. Even like little things like that I would miss in an email, like just little things. You just
commas and stuff. Proper.
Or even just the person saying, "Hey, I'm available for this," or just a small detail, and it'll pick it up, and I'll say, "Oh wow, I missed that." Yep. It's super interesting. So now you have it's 6VC. Now is that working with that, or is that something different?
So Six Ventures is we built a bunch of companies over the last decade and a half. We built Metaverse, which is a 3D creation platform for the spatial web. If you've ever used Canva, it's like Canva for metaverse experiences. We called our company Metaverse in 2016. So we actually created that whole metaverse hype wave.
Wow.
Take it or, love it or hate it. That was, was our business name. We have the trademark for it. So we've been building this, and we've been building projects for the largest companies in the world, from Samsung, MasterCard, Siemens, Microsoft, Wipro. But in doing that, we were learning what do they need to be able to leverage this, and how are they leveraging it for training, marketing, retail, collaboration, 3D websites. So that's one company. Then Unlimited Awesome is our education platform. This is our North Star. Everything is in service to this. So the Metaverse platform is providing their technology from Metaverse to Unlimited Awesome as a way to have a virtual campus. So anybody anywhere on earth with a mobile phone, tablet, computer, or headset or VR headset can attend classes and mentorship groups anywhere on earth as an avatar. So we're eliminating the need for geography problems. We're eliminating skin color because you appear as an avatar. You could be green if you want, it doesn't matter. So race, sex, gender, geography, none of these things matter in this new world. And I think it's better because now people can be based on their merit, they can succeed, not just based on where they happen to be or who they happen to know. And we're going to open up our network, which is fairly substantial. And I hope you'll join our network, Bruce. But we're opening up our network to all these student startups so we can invest in them. And Y Combinator, I don't know if people know this, but Y Combinator over the last 20 years has returned 176% annualized returns for the last 20 years. So it's the only asset class on earth other than Bitcoin that has hit that level.
I was going to say those are like crypto returns.
They are, but consistently over time because they made 4,000 bets or 4,000 investments. And, like 40 of them became multi-billion-dollar companies, right? So it's the same thing as what we're aiming for. But the difference is Y Combinator is owned by a handful of people, and you and I and investors can never be part of it. Whereas Unlimited Awesome has 20% is for investors. 75% of the company is for students to earn. And the only way they can earn it is by earning every badge. There's 50 badges. They have to earn every single one. But then they earn an equity token, which gives them governance rights and distribution of wealth rights. So it'll give them dividends for the rest of their life. You can't buy, sell, or trade it. You have to earn it, but it's yours forever. It's a way of kind of redistributing the capital to everybody, not just the select few at the top.
So it's so interesting. So I have two questions. One and then the other one. One is, what is your goal here at the Anthony or at the Global Family Office Investment Summit? And then two, what avenues are you using, and they might come together, to get the students involved?
Sure. So the first thing is we're raising $10 million for 6 ventures. And the last company, there's actually 6 companies under it's not why the company is called 6 Ventures. It just happens to be there's 6 companies now. But 6IX is slang for Toronto. It was kind of named by Drake. He said, yeah, we live in the 6 because our area code is 416 and 647. So, but there's 3 major companies. We have Metaverse, Unlimited Awesome, and the last one is we're building the world's most carbon negative data center as part of this collection. So we're raising $10 million for 6 ventures. We have a bit of that already committed. So when we go back to this Retosa Summit in Miami, we're going to be closing that round. The $10 million will be divided, $3 million for each of the entities. They obviously have to raise more capital on their own, but we're putting $3 million into Metaverse, $3 million into Unlimited Awesome, and $3 million into the clean data centers. And so that's the plan. And what the next question was, what are we doing?
How are you getting the students?
So we're going to be offering. We're doing a token launch for Unlimited Awesome. So everything will be processed in our own token. So we're going to be offering $1 million to the first student, $1 million in our token to the first student who can complete all 50 of the badges. And we'll just let the universe bring people to us.
Very interesting. So students can propose their different ideas and go from there. Well, that's so exciting. I know there's some kids, they might watch this. I'm going to send it over to them if they're
we're our first tranche of invitees. So we'll be launching this later this year. We've been working on the tech stack for years. So the tech stack keeps morphing, as you can imagine. New technologies come along. So we're building an infrastructure that actually encourages the change, because it's one thing to build a static product and say, here's our product, and it'll be the same product for the next 40 years. Which, Word and word processing, these things. But this has got to be dynamic, right? As AI agents come on board, we want to make them available to our students as, and basically the main part of this is 2 things. It's a virtual campus where you can meet people as an avatar, and it's an AI mentor that can guide you through life and learn from everything that you're learning from and help you. And it's not there to try to sell you anything. It's only there to make you the best version of yourself.
Amazing. Now you have your book up there in the top corner.
I do.
We are running on our last minute or so, but tell me more about it.
Sure. The book is called 2030, A Blueprint for Humanity's Exponential Leap. And we look at all the different technologies in the next 5 years. So we look at it from the perspective of food. We have, vertical farming, and we have lab grown meat, and we've got laser, computer vision for basically eliminating the need for fertilizers, so you can actually do weeding using lasers, things like this that are coming on board. We talk about that. We talk about finance, how blockchain, crypto, different altcoins are contributing to this, but also, what's going to happen in finance with AI and quants and that sort of thing. We talk about AI, AGI, ASI, or artificial super intelligence, quantum computing. We talk about virtual augmented mixed reality, XR, brain computer interfaces. We talk about space travel. Everything is in this book. And the book is less about our predictions on the future, and it's more about our premonitions if we get this right. It's our kind of challenge to the world that if we nail this next 5 years, the next 5 years are going to be pivotal to humanity's success. And if we nail it, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But, there are some cautionary tales to be had. And I actually had a blog called AI versus Humans, What Could Possibly Go Wrong? It turns out there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So I've analyzed that. We've taken all the things that could go wrong, mitigated, and at least kind of give people, the readers of the book, some ideas of what could go wrong, but more what could go right. Because I would say 99% is going to be amazing. We're going to have 1% of terrible, horrible things.
Yeah.
Let's just mitigate those things and focus on the best possible path forward for all of humanity, not just a select few at the top.
Amazing. Well, folks, you can see that where to get that book. It's 2030book.org. Alan, thank you so much for coming on. How else do people get a hold of you? What's your social media website, main website?
I'm on LinkedIn as well. Just my name there. You can find me on LinkedIn. 6.vc is the website there. And you can also just go on my website for myself personally, which has my DJ stuff and all that. But it's just alansmithson.com.
alansmithson.com. That's where I first got to introduce to him. It is something else. Alan, thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to seeing you in Florida.
I'll see you in Miami.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely... Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2-bit exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2-bit exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want, that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the trade copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you can hook me up with the trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2-Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you again for that heads up. I mean, I've looked into this 2-bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2-Bit, Toobit. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're gonna like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate. I think they're going to love it. I'm pretty excited about it.
And yeah, it's definitely going to benefit people. I mean, obviously with all the years of experience that we can pack into it, and people can basically benefit from that. Yeah, I definitely think it's a goer.
Hey, David. Yeah, man, I'm excited about it too. I mean, when you think of the ways that we can help our viewers earn money and be able to participate in the monetary revolution, this 2-bit platform just opens up all kinds of doors that they don't have right now.
Hey, Bruce, I'm checking out this platform. It's revolutionary.
That's absolutely correct. And the futures platform is amazing. Great liquidity. And the copy trader program, people are going to be able to make the trades exactly when we make them and make the money that we make. It's a win-win for everybody.
Open for U.S. customers, and you can deposit money with a credit or debit card. Doesn't get better than this.
Beautiful. And what do you think we should use as a referral code?
I think we should use Impact Money. That's the one. Impact Money.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.